Channel 7 has been around long before the Abbotts, Careys and Locketts, years before the Matthews, Skiltons and Bartletts rode the pack. And through those years, the Channel 7 cameras have captured the moments that define football. But this game, Geelong versus Fitzroy, may be the most important game ever televised by 7. Because today could be the Lions' last game, not for this season, but forever. Channel 7's telecast of football is in itself a massive undertaking, broadcasting some 100 games throughout the year. And as you will see at 2 separate games, the production process and finished product differ vastly. But today's game pits Geelong superstar Gary Ablett against Fitzroy. For Geelong, this game is almost a certain win. But for Fitzroy, they are no more playing for their club, but for their future. And today, the thought of Fitzroy playing its last game, the thought of a proud tradition finishing, makes this day a most important one for supporters on Channel 7. Because Fitzroy has been around longer than Channel 7, longer than many of the other clubs, longer than the Whitten Oval. But one thing has endured through all the hardships, the highs and the lows of the club, since 1883, the integral part that keeps the club together, the supporters. The Channel 7 commentary box, situated 3 levels up in the E.J. Whitten stand, a small concrete room packed with every possible television equipment. At the back of the studio, a bright coloured backdrop is dragged behind the host at the start of the televised game. The green blind can be pulled down over the coloured backdrop and used as a chroma key screen showing graphics of the teams and superimposing the crowd. The box is adjacent to the radio boxes and the coaches' boxes is further down the corridor. With all the millions of dollars worth of technical equipment, 7 has the ultimate in security system. 1 security guard. Ever wondered how Bruce McAvaney knows every possible stat about the players? Well, here it is. The statistic computer. A keyboard is centered on the broadcaster's desk, and each broadcaster has a headset, which is connected to this man, the statistician. His job involves a touchpad with the names of all players written in the blank squares, and the names are then corresponding with the numbers on the touchpad. The names of the possessions are also in the middle. The information is then updated and registered on the screen. However, today there is a slight problem. It seems as though the numbers aren't registering on the screen. With 5 minutes before the game starts, the statistician becomes worried. The commentators, however, are oblivious to what is happening. The computer technician is called. He fiddles around with the keypad, checks the connections to the computer. By now, the thought of no statistics in the first quarter is becoming a possibility. The floor manager arrives on scene. However, the technician finds a solution. He simply turns it off, hoping that it will work once back on. The commentators continue on, oblivious to the problem. But finally it works. The technician explains about the malfunction in the keyboard, and now everything is back to normal. Not even the commentators, nor the spectators at the ground or the viewers at home will ever know the problem that occurred minutes before the game started. The commentators can now breathe a sigh of relief knowing that their stats are ready at hand. With it possibly being Fitzroy's last game, Herald Sun photographer David Geraghty moves an entire row of supporters to take a supposedly unexpected photograph which wasn't pre-arranged. The photograph then appeared in the Sunday paper on June 30th. Caption read, "Fitzroy's battle streamers placed on empty seats at Wooten Oval resemble a burial tribute to a strife-torn Lions whose 113-year history could end tomorrow."
So, Jared's on there. Yeah. I'm on this one. That's a spare. Well, no. You got you on this one. I'm on that one. Right. Kevin's on that one. Kevin's on this one. Yep. You're on this one. You're on that one. I'm on that one. So that one. That's the spare headset. What's happening is we've had to change the box a bit of file. Okay. So you're headset 2. Kevin's headset 3.
Long before the game begins, 2 of the 3 commentators are now in place, Ian Robinson and Kevin Bartlett. The third, Jared Healy, is beside in one of the radio boxes, oblivious to the goings-on in the 7 box. The commentators then begin to communicate to the director for the first time.
Peter? Hello, Pete. Yeah, Peter, it's Robert. Am I on the right headset? There's a SP which is spare, obviously.
I'm on, this is Kevin Bartlett, and I'm on headset 3. Oh, okay, that's okay.
Ian Robinson arranges his desk, which has 3 TV sets, 3 headsets and a keyboard. As you can see, the area with which they work in is very small. Jared Healy finally arrives, wondering about the different seating arrangements. Today he'll be the supporter, the special comments man. And while there is still a long time before the game starts, the commentators then prepare some of their own statistics.
Under 18, Victoria and Western Australia,
They discuss the upcoming matches, check the record, and talk about the possible result. Meanwhile, for the 10,504 people at the ground, a treat. The Royettes. And everyone in the Channel 7 box are riveted to their work. Even the floor manager is visibly excited. In fact, the only people who seem to take any notice of the Royettes are the Channel 7 cameramen. The roving camera, as it is called, is used simply for interchange news, boundary rider news, crowd reactions, and the odd piece of voyeurism. Disregarding the mild distraction, the commentators continue their work, analysing every stat and result in the record book, and checking every broken nose like Ian Robinson does, and remembering players' names. Finally, the game draws closer. The banners are up, the cameramen are ready, the commentators are ready. However, for some, reading the record is enough. Don't you wish you could have his job? Meanwhile, President of Fitzroy, Dyson Hall-Lacey, is visibly answering tough questions regarding the proposed Fitzroy merger in the adjacent boxes. While he defends his position, his team finally arrives, greeted by a bank of newspaper photographers. The commentators now become a bit more excited. The adrenaline is pumping more, because now they are live to air. Meanwhile, Lacey is still being interviewed, and it appears as though he's had enough of the questions, yet he still manages a wry smile.
Fitzroy Football Club would like to acknowledge the following sponsors on major sponsors.
And now the moment of truth for Channel 7. For the commentators, after hours of research, studying players' names and statistics, Geelong makes its way out onto the ground to begin what may be a most memorable game in history. The three commentators are ready, the statistician is ready, the floor manager is reading, and for the next 100 minutes, complete focus is on the game. Though Gary Ablett may be warming up, the commentators are ready. The collaboration of the statistician, commentators and cameramen finally come together to bring football into your lounge room.
Good tackle by young Ramsey. His first game of league football from Port Adelaide. Goes short to Carter. Has it punched away by Bitterscombe. Kicks off the ground. Ricochets back to Scholl. Quick kick back towards 50. Barker trying to crash his way through. The kick once more is smothered. Chandler on hands and knees. Gets it out to Atkins to Pike. So the former Demon comes way up to the half-forward. That's a great kick. And it's been marked out here by Hawking. Puts it in front. Mellington's the target. Graham's with him. Chance at ground level. Trying to pick the ball up now is Trent Cummings. Gets the ball across to Cassidy. Point blank range. They've kicked a goal.
Football as you'd want to see, wasn't it? Yes, very good football there by Fitzroy, right from coming off the fence. And Jason Ramsey in his first game of football, as you said, showing that there's only one way to attack the ball, and that's in straight lines. And they did it well. They didn't give away possession. And we've always known that Fitzroy are a good side. They start very well. It's whether they can keep up this momentum, and let's hope they can.
It was a good old-fashioned slam dunk by Jason Ramsey, wasn't he? He let Riccardi know that he was going to be tackled. Football goes on. Ramsey gets the ball, but Mansfield's hand pass, Couch, combines with Bitterscombe. Bitterscombe now straight in the Ablett direction, but ill-directed, and the mark taken safely on that last line of defence by Simon Atkins. Gets the hand pass away to Malloy. Malloy's kick is long, out towards half-back. Nearly the mark taken out there by Chandler. Geelong combined. Bitterscombe again off his left foot. The ball carries beautifully. Well judged by Derek Hall. And already the second mark for this player. And he's only 30 metres out, pretty well straight in front.
Well, you can ill afford to drop marks like the one that Chandler did just a second ago, because they do rebound quickly.
Derek Hall, distance, no problems. Just a little bit of breeze to contend with. Keeps it low, stamp, goal to Geelong, second on the scoreboard.
The Channel 7 cameras are the most integral part of a broadcast. Each camera has a list of players who will be playing in today's game, and there are 5 cameras in total. 2 in the commentary box next to the commentators, Then there are also 2 on each pocket at either end of the ground. They are known as camera 3 and 4. Plus, there is also 1 roving camera, known as camera 5, with boom going around the ground. This camera on screen now, the camera on the right, frames the game in a wide shot, while the camera on the left frames the game in a closer, tight shot. The lights on the viewfinder tell the cameraman when their shot is on, or when the director has taken their shot. Both of the 2 cameras in the commentary box are chained to a stand, and each can be easily swiveled.
You just need to see them maybe a little bit committed to make sure that the opposition, if they're going to earn the 4 points, they're going to have a reasonable game of football. That's what most of the people that have watched the Aussie football.
The apparatus in the right hand enables the image to be focused, while the apparatus in the left hand enables zooming in and zooming out of an image. Each cameraman is connected with a headset to the director.
I played him on young Jeff Bartlett from Melbourne a few weeks ago, and it did hurt the Lions.
Oklahom's going to get his second goal.
7 goals, 7. We've still got 4 minutes left in this first quarter. Bamford not able to get clear. Sanderson tries to get the kick out. Oh, but it was not 6. He tried to give it.
And utilising all these 5 cameras, the director manages to get a free-flowing section of football.
There, David Howlett, Mansfield to kick over the man on the mark. In towards the centre, mark taken by Gary Hocking. Gary Hocking with 4 possessions. Away to Mansfield, his kick towards the full forward area. Burns, kick it quickly, Ronnie. Along the ground, a grubber, a la Peter Riccardi's first goal. Geelong have got their 4th on the scoreboard.
Half-time, and that means lunchtime. This food buffet table is solely for the media. At half-time now, the commentators take a well-earned break. The cameramen have deserted both cameras, including the ones in the pocket and on the roving ground. The commentators have put their headsets down, and the computer is unoccupied. Because now it is half time. It's time for the commentators to practice their golf swing and to listen to the radio of the other games. However, though the cameras are disregarding the Little League, who knows, one day, some youngster in the Little League may become a superstar on Channel 7.
Over the top is Ablett. Tried to take it out of the air, quick kick. 1 point.
Waverley Park. Under this large stand, behind the small Channel 7 trailer, inside the roller doors, and inside the Channel 7 van lives the director. His job? Simply to stare at a bank of 8 television sets, keep his finger on 2 or 3 buttons, choose which shots to take, which shots to dissolve and edit for television, and speak inane sentences into a microphone. Utilising all these movements, the fingers, the voice, the dissolves, he manages to direct an entire game of football by himself.
5 goals and the Blues going well. They lead North Melbourne 13-10 to 11 goals. Remember, they led Carlton by a nice little margin in the 3rd quarter a few weeks ago before being run over. But this time they've stretched a narrow lead at half-time. So some good games there. That is a progressive Dipper home.
15 to the siren.
Sydney's point of view.
Just listening to him, you would think he was insane. But for more than 10 years, Don Fitzsimmons has directed finals and grand finals of AFL football year in and year out. And he says the same things over and over again, like 2 take 3, 3 take 1, 1 dissolve, 1 take. He has a board of light and buttons to control with, and a lever which dissolves between shots. In this darkly lit room, Don Fitzsimmons sits for hours, barely allowing a break. In fact, in the grand final, he needs an assistant because of the amount of televisions to look at one time. 20 in total.
Sydney with an 8-goal third quarter.
One take.
A couple of easy shots. Everett back on the ball. Dyson after it. Everett with him.
2 take.
Tries to get the handball across to Brown.
One take.
Didn't go fast.
2 take.
Well done was Leg. Got the handball.
1 take. 2 take. Play on. 1 take. 2 take.
Finally gets the first a really effective kick of the
1 take.
To half court.
2 take. 3 will be to Smith.
Probably just
One
over the
is
shoulder.
already 4.
Smith to
1 instead. 1 take. 2 take.
Kenny brings him to ground.
1 take. 2 take. 1 take.
Back towards Daniel. Sydney holding up O'Brien.
The 4 buttons he's pushing is editing between the 4 cameras, or even 5, that are broadcasting the game at one time. The numbers on the screen correspond to the camera numbers, number 2 being the widest camera, number 1 being the tightest shot. He usually alternates between the 2.
2 take. 1 take. 2 take.
Mr. Come out wide, kicks to a 50-50.
1 take.
Seymour, Timmy's trying to
2 take. Play on. 1 take. 2 take.
Terrific.
1 take. Go back to the play 3. 2 take.
Tries to kick on the outside of his
1 take.
Falls short and Kelly's
good.
in front.
3 take. Kick on 3.
Watch like
2 take. 1 take. Ready 4. 4 take. Kick on 4. 2 take. Short.
Below the target.
1 take.
Big fly came in the back by Dudley.
Behind him in the van is the sound equipment and the video and graphics equipment. He has the ability to speak to both of those people using his headsets.
2 take. Play on. 1 take.
Getting back Brink. Little handball to Neil.
2 take. Short. Out the ball.
Don Cross down. Injury report.
Okay, I'll come to you in a moment. Going to Dipper shortly.
He has to contend with voices like that of Dipper on the boundary line. In fact, he can contact up to 30 different people, or they can contact him.
2 take. Play on. 1.
Free kick to Grant, not played.
Take. 2 take.
Quickly onto the boot, back towards full court.
1 take. Good mark. 1 take.
Goes to Smith.
2 take. 1 take.
At his disposal, he has a case for his glasses and a spare headset, and a small drink of lift. These buttons allow him to communicate to the producer, the cameramen, and the commentators, and they can do likewise. Together, this brings a completely different look of football into the lounge room, compared to the TV coverage behind the scenes is chaotic.
2 take. Play on. 1 take. 2 take. 1 take. 2 take. Short. 1 take. Ready 4 maybe.
Mark running back. Grant holds him up.
To stay with 1 here. 2 take. Short again.
Goes out that way.
1 take. 2 take. Short squares. 1 take.
Side to Waverley.
Just a 3. I wouldn't if you want 3. Might not. He's off. 2 take. 4 take. 2 take. Just stay where you are. 3.
Very long. Right at the top
1
of the squares.
1 take. 2 take. 1 take. 2 take.
Mr. Come out wide, kicks to a 50-50.
1 take.
Seymour, Timmy's trying to
2 take. Play on. 1 take. 2 take.
Terrific.
1 take. Go back to the play 3. 2 takes.
Tries to kick on the outside of his
1 take.
Falls short and Kelly's in front.
3 take. Kick on 3.
Watch like it.
2
There he
take.
goes, the big fella. It's a big high kick. Rocket's got a
1 take.
Almost pulls it down.
2 take. Smothered. 1 take. 2 take. 1 take.
drop it.
Two take play on.
Under pressure, Neil.
One take.
Towards Daniels, and Daniels has to sit and wait. His words closes.
Two take.
And then spins around and gives the ball.
One take. Tight 4. Two take.
Now, chips to Joel Smith.
One take.
Almost up to
Two
centre
take.
wing. Stops
Four
him
take. Two take.
on the left. Good looking kick to Pankin.
One take. Two take play on.
Decision of the
One take. It's going back to the mark. Two take. One take. Ready 4. Take kick on 4. Two take. Short.
Below the target.
One take.
Big fly came in the back by Dudley.
Two take play on. One take. Two take short.
The chip.
One take.
It sits now. He takes
Two take. Three take. Two take.
Kicks to Lockett. He's got it.
One take.
Play on. Garner turns his back
Two take.
inside out.
Play on.
Then
Three.
goes to the pocket. Not a good kick.
One take.
Getting back Burke. Little handball to Neil.
Two take. Short.
Creeping in Neil.
That was always.
Don Cross down. Injury report.
Okay, we'll come to you in a moment. Going to differ shortly, Terry. Ready to go. Two.
Oh, so if he nearly
Take.
gets a goal, he knows he's got to go.
Disagree.
One take.
Centre wing.
Two take. Play on. One.
Free kick to Grant, not played. Dice.
Take. Two take.
Quickly onto the boot, back towards full court. Shannon.
One take. Good mark.
Well done, Neil. Actually, Neil's been playing very well. He started
Two
with
take. Play on. One take.
Canberra.
Two take.
Really hasn't come to the fore since going down.
One take. Two take.
Danger here for the Saints again.
One take. Two take. Play on.
Now gets the ball.
One take.
To Tony Brown.
Two take. Four take. Two take.
Puts low. Goes in that player's direction.
One take. Two take. Play on. One take.
Very good at this one.
Two take. One take.
Goes to Smith.
Two take.
Support.
One take. Two take. Short.
He just unloads it quickly.
One take.
But he almost controls it. Now he can.
Two take.
Kicks out very wide to Carly.
One take.
Pressed by Jones.
Two take. One take. Two take.
Takes it to himself and kicks it to
One take. Two take. Four. Four take. Two take. Four take. Go for it. Replay.
And Everett well within kicking distance.
Haven't forgotten your different.
Well, back in the goal square, you would say there are
Just a break.
6 Swans to 3 StKilda players.
Two take.
If he doesn't kick it, the numbers will beat them, but it's a beautiful
Four take. One take. Commercial. Four take. Three take. One take. Four.
On the ball for the first half, then was down over the pass and the kick.
Didn't work with
Here's the mark coming. Everett has done this well today, and that is dropping
15.
on putting the pressure on Stafford.
the other kick.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're back.
18 of the 23 goals.
Okay, scores and forwards.
As they walk off the ground,
23. Three take.
one score.
Score up.
When it's 14-12-96 and Kilda 11-13.
The game has just finished. However, there is no time for Don Fitzsimmons to relax. If you listen carefully, he speaks to a lot of people.
2, 1.
Three, you give me a wide please. Three. One. One take. 23. Two, you
Now, Don, what am I going to do?
yeah, go into the rooms and then come back in about 7 or 8 minutes.
No, mate.
Three take. 2 and 1 can both go around, please. Yes, sir. Turn.
We'll go quarterback quarters goal scorer, second half highlights, match stats, and then we'll have to pause the break.
Okay, second half highlights. How long will the break be? The course of
1 minute.
Fine, okay. Is Bruce in there, Kevin? Yes, he is. Bruce and Scotty, we've got quarterback quarters and goal kickers. Then we'll come to the 2-shot. We'll have second half highlights.
His main concern are the two commentators on screen, Don Scott and Bruce McAvaney.
Quarterback quarters.
he has to guide them through the post-match procedures. Bruce McAvaney is worried about his hair. Don Scott is saying it's too cold. And together, it looks as though they are completely disorganised.
Can I get a fraction more to the... Am I flat out? That's all right, mate. That's all right. Too short on you, please. Thank you. I had to go out of three in the last foot.
Under 2 minutes on the break.
Did I leave my mic on, did I? Is that what happened? Yeah.
Did you say sing on 1, 2?
No, too short on 2.
Right, I've just got to move him.
Yep. Cut off. Sorry, how long in the break? Sorry, Dave.
There's 1.5 left on this break.
Thank you.
John, we can back-to-back quarter-by-quarters to goal kickers and back to Bruce and Don.
Don Fitzsimmons has to worry about the votes, Bruce about his stats, and Don Scott about the weather. However, as they wait to go on air, very little happens, and suddenly the disorganised commentators become professional. And to the viewers at home, it appears as though they were organised as soon as the game finished.
I mean, there's nothing in it, but it's just unbelievable. 20 goals for this end and 5 of the other. Karen, you're not doing the votes at all?
1 minute, I'll just try and spot.
Okay. Just seeing we're going to Sydney and they don't get tomorrow morning, it would be good to do it if we could.
It's got to be less than 14 degrees. I'm being serious.
It's 6 minutes on break.
It's breeze.
Walk on 1. Walk on 1. 36. Good results today. You want to thank for the game. Collingwood win? Yeah, we're a long way in front.
20, still playing.
26.
15.
15.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're back.
It is an unusual scoreboard. No goals for StKilda in the third quarter, none for Sydney in the final term, and 20 of the 25 at one end of the ground on a day where there was no breeze. Sydney in the end, 14-12 to 11-13. The goal kicker, low 3. He did miss some in the last half. Everett and Beveridge a couple each, and Brown, Smith, Winmar, McLean. Lockett 6. He kicked 4 in the third quarter. O'Brien, Mooney 2 in a quick space in the third term. Then Kelly, Grant, O'Loughlin and Houston said, come through. You're warm enough down there. You've got Morty ones.
Bruce McAvaney reels off the stats, but Don still is worried about the weather.
A strange situation because...
Hang on.
The Saints probably had half a chance in the last quarter, didn't they?
Well, I suppose they did, Bruce, but, well...
Okay, go your highlights.
Very offensive
Because Everett wasn't on the ball, do you think?
Well,
1 minute on highlight.
maybe in the third quarter, but this is how they set it up. Now, see up there, and also Huskus, and they really do set it up from half back. They get numbers back onto half back, and then they bring it down. And it was good.
During the show over highlights, if you watch Bruce McAvaney carefully, his attention is diverted to what he is going to say next.
Setting it up once again, but they alternate half forward to half back. They crowd them into half back, and then they run it down. And just in the third quarter, they really did have to look because they didn't have very many good players in the first half. As I mentioned at half time or in a three-quarter time summary, that I go through each quarter and mark the players, and they didn't have very good players in the first half. Hard to find good players, and their record suggested they just had to lift, and they did in the third quarter. And it wasn't just a matter of maybe they should have sat back in the front.
In fact, Bruce isn't listening to Don at all. But, once back on air...
3, the Mitsubishi Motors match statistics show that...
Beautifully done, Bruce.
More of the balls they did.
Well, they did it exactly right, Bruce. I was going to make mention of that. And the centre breaks, that's an interesting one because StKilda are one of the better, if not
Meanwhile,
the best
Don Fitzsimmons is looking down at his running sheet. He relays the message of a break to Bruce McAvaney.
More at the centre bounce down, and also McLean's got a bit to learn. So Stafford did a good, Stafford did a good job there because whoever got their hand on the ball because of the way they opened up the square would get the ascendancy, and it was Stafford who got his hand on the ball. He pushed it forward, then they just ran on because nobody was coming to meet the opposition.
Fair enough, Don. We might take a break. Some of the other games I think are pretty exciting. We'll have those final scores shortly. Go for it.
They are now officially off air, and back into their disorganised state they go. The focus is now on Bruce McAvaney. He must absorb every word said to him by Don Fitzsimmons, but keep talking once the outbreak comes back on. Again, Don is worried about the cold weather.
We're single on Bruce this time, Dave.
Swans on top, aren't they?
45.
Scotty, can you lean out for this next little bit? Stick around because we'll do your votes later on.
30 seconds.
30 seconds on the break, and we'll come back to you to try to highlight Carlton and Adelaide. I don't have any info yet. That's right. We don't have any info yet. Are they ready to go, John?
The first two are the Collingwood North Archer.
All right. 15 6, and Carlton Adelaide are ready to go.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're back.
Welcome back to Waverley Park. 3 other matches.
Carlton Adelaide coming.
Second half highlights. Carlton versus Adelaide.
Roll.
Off the ground.
45 on these.
He kicked more than 5 goals. He got 6. And Darren Jarman stuck on 2. He got them in the first quarter for Adelaide.
Robert Di Domenico, the boundary rider for Channel 7. After each game, he attempts to sum up what the coaches said after the game.
Close in the first half as we showed you. Geelong came back in the third. Here's the second half highlights.
Roll.
Ablett, 4 minutes hit on these.
They put him in the stand and give him a microphone, and the rest is up to him. He's got a few minutes before he goes on air. Yet, he becomes increasingly nervous as his time arrives.
The game's still going.
Right, so we could go to Dipper. Dipper's ready to go. You want to do that?
Yeah, we'll go to Dipper.
Right.
And after we do Dipper, we can come back to Don for score 12 votes.
Fine, okay. We'll just scores on Geelong Hawthorn, then we can throw with Collingwood North still going. So we can throw to Dipper, who's ready for his second lap.
30 seconds.
Dipper will then come back to Scotty for his votes. Then we'll see what we do from there. Dipper, not long to you.
Don Fitzsimmons has just given a rundown on what will happen once back from the highlights. Now it's up to them.
So Kevin, we get Scotty in as soon as we hit Dipper.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Thank you.
What a remarkable effort. Hawthorn 5 goals in that mud in the last quarter. Dunstall got 3, must have got a couple late. Ablett 6 for Geelong, but Hawthorn won. 11 goals, 8 to 10 goals, 12. 74 to 72.
On camera.
The Hawks have still got a chance on the Cats. That's a big blow for them. Dipper, you'd be purring down there as we go to your wrap. The Hawks winning at Cardinia Park.
Yeah, sensational. Who said
now?
Football's a funny game, eh? The Northerners went down today.
I'll come back to the 2
Anyway, in the rooms, pretty calm collected in the Swans rooms. After a great win, it was a very hard game for them. A lot of the players were very, very tired.
A minute to a minute and a half.
He's done his AC joint there, Bruce, and might be missing for 3 or 4 weeks. And the cool rooms, well, obviously very disappointed.
So after the votes,
they were into the game for about 3 quarters, and it's that premiership quarter, third quarter, where the Swans got away. And besides that, mate, I'm going home and have a nice hot bath and have a nice glass of tea.
You've earned it today.
I'll see you in Brisbane tomorrow.
We will. Creswell AC joint. Chapman's out also, a long-term injury, or has been.
Well, Creswell will be a problem because he knocked Hocking off last week and he wasn't bad on Harvey. Now, Harvey came back into the game in the last quarter when Creswell wasn't there.
Collingwood and North still going, by the way. We'll have that final score and highlight shortly. Can we have...
They're ready to highlight.
Robert Di Domenico has finished. He can now go home. And for Bruce McAvaney and Don Scott, there is still a long time to go. The votes are up on the screen. But for Bruce, he's unsure what is on next. Talk about pressure. He has to listen to Don Fitzsimmons, Don Scott, watch the highlights, and think what to say next. In the van, Don Fitzsimmons gives him information on the game at the MCG and a rundown of what is going to happen.
made some real heavy tackles, terrific effort, and Luff, he's the big improver too. Hard not to give Huskus a vote. There was one or two others also played 3 quarters, but they are the votes for today.
Okay, Ruth, here we go, Collingwood, North. Don, let's go and have a look at those highlights from the Melbourne Cricket Ground, Collingwood and North Melbourne.
Roll.
1 minute on the highlight.
Right, single on
here
post.
is Rocker got 8 goals.
Rocker got 8. Rocker 8. So we'll come back to you for the scores and then throw to a break. We'll check the ladder after the break.
40 metres, kicks good, then Archer, another one for the Kangaroos.
Pitch towards Scotty Russell.
30 on highlight.
Big hand pass at half forward, while Burns caught wild. Can he make amends? He gets it back to Russell. They're under plenty of pressure. McDonald to Williams, and he's quick, and he's accurate. He kicks it goals. Great play and took a look.
15.
15-6.
Around the corner.
The only info I've got is Rocker.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And Hugh.
What a remarkable scoreline. Rocker, we're told, got 8 goals. It looks like Williams got at least 5. Collingwood with 8 consecutive losses, knock off the top team, North Melbourne, by 10 goals. 22-12 to 12-11, 15-5 after half-time. When North lose, they lose good and proper, don't they? They've had some big ones this year, not too many, but forwards have been big ones. We'll check the ladder after the break.
Go for it.
And as the telecast draws to a close, next time you're watching the football, just think about how much time and effort is put into a telecast by Channel 7.